Hey guys, the week before Heroes Con, and I wasn't really planning on making a video this close in because I'll be probably uploading some videos next Sunday once I get back. But anyway, I had to go to an event, and on my way back, I was able to go by my local comic shop, which just relocated to a larger and nicer venue. So I thought I'd go by and kind of rummage through their dollar boxes and see what I could find, and I'm glad I did. I picked up 50 books, and they came out to be, and I hadn't figured it up just yet, but between 50 cents and 75 cents a piece. Anyway, and get started. Picked up Comics Interview number 56. I enjoy this book because it has interviews with what were current creators at the time of the publishing of the magazine, and they also interview Silver Age and Golden Age writers and artists. This particular one has an interview with Chris Claremont right after he had come off of his stint on the X-Men, which produced so many classic stories. He talks a little bit about that and what he was doing at that time, which this particular issue was published in 1988. They also do an interview with Jerry Robinson, who was a Golden Age Batman artist, who it is said is the actual creator of the Joker, and looking forward to reading that. We also found Superman Batman Generations 2, Book 1, Book 2, and Book 3. They didn't have Book 4, but that's okay. I already had these, but mine are signed by John Byrne and the other lady, or the other person who worked on it. So these give me this gives me 3 that I can read that aren't the autographed copies. So that was pretty cool. Anyway, picked up issue of 52 that I needed. This is week 12 with Black Adam. These next 2, I've been looking for copies of this comic, well, not really real hard, but I've been, trying to keep an eye out for them and just really hadn't seen them. But I was fortunate to find 2 copies yesterday, 2 issues yesterday. I got Johnny Quest from Comico or Comico number 8. This one is really freaking cool because this cover is a wraparound cover, and on the back it shows this particular villain, and he's got Bandit, Haji, Race, and Johnny's dad, Dr. Quest, hung on the back. Just a really freaking cool cover, and I really was happy to find that. Also picked up number 20. That one doesn't have a wraparound cover, but anyway. Also picked up Valkyrie, number 1 of 3 from Eclipse Comics. This lady was a sometimes ally, sometimes foe of an old Hillman character called Airboy, back in the 40s and 50s. This particular issue was drawn by Paul Gulacy, or Gulacy. I like his work. Just thought this would be pretty cool. I've got issue number 2 somewhere in one of the boxes. So when I saw this one, I went ahead and picked it up. Maybe I'll be able to find number 3 at Heroes Con. Anyway, picked up Ms. Tree, number 33, and number 34. I picked up number 32 about a year ago, and was really interested in seeing the outcome of the story. I wasn't going to pick this number 34. I wasn't going to pick it up, but something told me to, and I'm glad I did, because this actually is the concluding chapter of that story that began in number 32. So I was really glad to pick it up. Plus, it's got a pretty cool bondage cover on it with Ms. Tree tied up with Christmas lights. Picked up Iron Man number 102. This is just something to fill a hole. I needed this issue, so picked it up. Got Superboy and the Legion number 235. I was very happy to find this one. This is one of the ones, one of the issues that I needed in my Legion run, and just hadn't really seen it, on the cheap, so I was glad to pick this one up cheap. Plus, this one's in pretty good shape. Picked up Astro City from the latest series, number 38. I've been kind of surprised. I thought I would be able to find these in dollar bins or 50-cent bins, issues of this particular series, because from what I've heard from people who, other people who read comics, this particular series of Astro City wasn't very popular. But for some reason, you can't find it in 50-cent or dollar bins, or at least not the ones I've been looking in. So I'm hoping when I go to Heroes Con this weekend, I'll be able to pick up a few more. Picked up some Cerebus. Got Cerebus Bi-Weekly number 17, which reprints number 42. Also picked up Cerebus Bi-Weekly, which reprints number 13. I think I've already got this one, but for 50 cents, 75 cents, whatever it was, no big deal. Also picked up Cerebus Bi-Weekly, which reprints number 16 and reprints number 19. Picked up a few regular issues. Got Cerebus number 70, number 211, number 216, 229, number 230, number 234, number 236, 262, 275, which is part of the last storyline, Latter Days, and number 296. I enjoy this book. Dave Sim, when he started this book, said that there was going to be a definite beginning, middle, and end that he had already plotted out. Said it would take 300 issues, and that's what he did, was 300 issues. This series is not your typical comic book. This one isn't escapist fantasy so much as it is a treatise on the human condition from you name it. I mean, if every subject that you can just about imagine, Sim covered in this comic. It's just it makes you think about what it means to be human, the struggles, the trials that we all go through. It's just a very well written, well done book. You may not always agree with Sim's point of view on things, but it helps you to understand what yours is. And any comic that makes you think, or makes you a better person, is alright with me. Picked up a copy of Flash number 349. I've been trying to pick up some of these latter issues. I've got the last issue, which I'm pretty sure was number 350. And I'm working, well, not working backwards, I'm more or less working from the beginning and trying to complete in the middle. But anyway, some of these last issues have eluded me, and this was one of them, so I was very happy to pick that up and get these out of the way. Picked up a copy of Usagi Yojimbo number 87 from Dark Horse. Picked this one up specifically because I don't have very much of Stan Sakai's work, and he's supposed to be at Heroes Con, so I'm probably going to take this one and get him to sign it. Picked up Autumn Lands, Tooth and Claw, number 2. And I think this is a variant cover, but it was cool enough for me to pick up. So, plus, I don't know, I was looking at this cover, and this dog right here looks like Spuds MacKenzie. Anyway, it just kind of gave me a chuckle, so I went ahead and picked it up. Got Brave and the Bold, number 7, with Wonder Woman and Power Girl. This is the one I think that somebody online took some panels out of this book and gave it some rather unseemly undertones to what Wonder Woman and Power Girl were talking about. So anyway, so I thought I'd pick it up and kind of get an idea on my own as to exactly, you know, anyway, to kind of compare and contrast the real with the imaginary. Got Marvel Comics Presents, number 77, Weapon X. I pick these up when I see them to try to make a complete run of this particular story that they told in this. And this is one of the ones, of course, that I needed. Captain America, King Size Annual, number 6. This one isn't in the best of shape. Don't know if you can see it, but there's a lot of spine wear on it and different things. But anyway, this is going to be a reading copy, so not a big deal. Picked up Superman, Speeding Bullets, Elseworld's Tale. I've always wanted to read this and you know, find it for less than $1, so went ahead and picked it up. Got Marvel 2-in-1, number 21, The Thing and Doc Savage. I like old pulp heroes. I like The Thing, so putting these two together in a story I thought sounded pretty cool. I mean, the story might end up being a total disappointment, but oh well, if it was, I didn't spend very much to get it. So, also picked up number 33. I had seen this book years ago, and never did pick it up, but when I found it yesterday, I went ahead and got it. It's History of the DC Universe by Marv Wolfman and George Perez. This was, I'm not sure if it came out before, during, or after Crisis in '86, but it came out right around that same time, and I kind of flipped through it, and it looks really cool. So, picked up a copy of Ghosts, number 3, a 48-pager. I've always liked these books, old Supernatural DC books from the early 70s, and I mean, this was an early issue of Ghosts, so thought I'd pick it up. Picked up a couple of old Archie comics. Got Laugh, number 159. This is from 1963, I believe. 63, 64. Anyway, I just picked these up because they were cheap. And plus, they're pretty cool, so. Also picked up Pep Comics, number 203. Picked this one up because it had a superhero on the front. I know back in the mid-60s during the superhero craze, which this one I think came out in, it was either 1966 or 1967. They had, they turned Archie and the gang into superheroes. And to see a Archie comic with a superhero on the front was, you know, to me was, it's unusual to see that, but also anyway, I thought I'd pick it up. I want you to notice the fashions along the top here for this particular issue. That has some importance for this next one. I also picked up number 227. If you notice, it's the same people in the same basic positions. Let's see if I can do this. Same people, same basic positions, but the artist drew different clothes on them. I just thought that was pretty cool. It's a lot. This one in particular, if you notice, Jughead's got on the fuzzy vest and the striped pants from the late '60s. Just the different fashions that they portrayed in these books. I thought, it's a microcosm of its time, but it's also, it's pretty cool. Picked up a copy of Gold Key Tarzan. Not exactly sure which issue number this is. I do know that this is from the early '60s. So anyway, I thought I'd pick it up just to read, because I would imagine it's probably got Jesse Santos art in it, and I like Santos's art. Picked up a copy of G.I. Combat, number 182. Also picked up a copy of Twilight Zone from Gold Key from the early '60s. The thing about these is what they would do is this cover, this on here. The back cover is a reprint of the cover, but it doesn't have any of the indicia on it or anything, or any writing. And they encourage kids to cut the back cover off their comic and put it on the wall. Well, luckily, this kid, whoever bought this, didn't do that. So, even though it is in rough shape, it does have a back cover. Also picked up Weird War Tales, number 27. Got the Mini Ghosts of Dr. Graves, number 5, from Charlton. I like some of these old Charlton comics. They're pretty cool. Shout out to Charlton 66. I actually passed up a copy of number 1 of this title because it was just in, I pick up some books that are in rough shape to start with, but this particular one, number 1 that the guy had in the dollar box, was just, it was in too rough shape even for me. I was happy to find this in the dollar, well, it was a dollar box, but he gave me, they were running a discount that day, yesterday. I think it was, well, anyway, like I said, I know I paid between 50 cents and 75 cents a copy. That's all I can tell you. My Greatest Adventure, number 82. This is the 3rd appearance of the Doom Patrol. Very early Doom Patrol appearance. So, even though it is coverless, I thought I'd pick it up and, pick it up to have so I can read it. Picked up an old Dale Comics with Mickey Mouse. This is Dale 4-color comics, number 304. Anyway, it's from 1950, so I thought I'd pick it up just, to have, read. And my find of the day, in that for 50 to 75 cents, I got Daredevil number 166. Good Frank Miller Daredevil with where he fights the Gladiator. That's my haul. I promise this will be the only one until next Sunday, and depending on how things go, I may try to film part 1 of my Heroes Con haul next Sunday. Heck, I don't know, maybe it'll only be 1 part, who knows. But anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for hanging in there. Like, comment, subscribe. Anyway, have a good one, guys, and we'll see you again soon.